Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue watching 90 Day Fiancé. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor, and I watch TV shows and react to it and post it on the YouTube for y'all to watch.
Really need to figure out here in the next 2 weeks if we really want to go through with this K-1 visa still.
You know, me and you, we rarely fight or quarrel face to face when you're staying beside me. We wasn't used to this distance for so long, 10 months of distance. And so we had some trust issues and, we bickered at each other.
Okay, so according to Ryan, he's saying that when they're together, they don't fight very much. And we saw, at least, and he was basically saying this to her, was that she's paranoid about him cheating on her, and then she gets controlling, and then he gets hurt, and they trigger each other in that way. Her jealousy, essentially, is what will spark the flames of the conflict. And when they're together, she doesn't get jealous because she's not worried that he's off doing something. So maybe they can actually be in a great relationship as long as they are with each other.
I've picked up your phone and seen you texting other women. Is that changed or tell me what's changed?
I keep singing this in your ears that I really want you in my life, I really want you,
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but why don't you bring that phone over here right now and unlock it and let's go through it.
Okay, so she is still worried, and maybe she has very good reasons to be worried. It sounds like she does, honestly. But how do you work out trust? How do you work together? This is something that, as a couples therapist, I've worked with many couples on. An infidelity has happened. They've both cheated on each other, maybe multiple times, at least in part. And how do you recover from that? How do you gain that trust back? How do you know for sure? How do you answer those questions that are nagging you in your mind of, is this person really into me, or are they still cheating on me? Those are important questions that people want answered for them before they can relax in a relationship. Well, there's various different impulses that people will engage in, one of which is to invade the other person, sort of force them to reveal themselves or to control them or something. These are not good impulses because the person will be hurt by that, and then they will cheat on you or they will break up with you or something. So how do you build up trust? Well, if they came to me in this moment, I'd say, okay, Stephanie, hold on a second. Well, first of all, Ryan, Stephanie is asking to go into your phone right now. How do you feel about that? I'm guessing that Ryan is not enthusiastic about that. Then I'd say, okay. The first question I would have for them is, what do you want? Do you want to see if the two of you are compatible? Looks like Stephanie would say yes, but I don't know about Ryan. He seems to talk in vague terms, or maybe it's just the way he talks. But does he want to marry her? Does he, or is he wanting to see if marriage is down the road for the two of them and him coming to the United States? Does he want that or not? Because there's a possibility that he doesn't. There's a possibility that he's just like, yeah, you know what, I'm kind of young, or, I like her as a girlfriend, but honestly, I'm not really interested in settling down. I don't know what he would say, but that'd be the first question I would ask. But if they both said, I want to work on potentially being together forever, I don't know yet, but that's what I'm thinking about, then I would say, okay, at some future date, we will say, hopefully, the two of you will trust each other and you'll both be able to answer those questions in your mind. Is my partner faithful to me? Does my partner love me? Is my partner cheating on me? Those will be questions that you can answer pretty quickly. Right now, you probably can't answer those questions very easily because there's been a lot of infidelity between the two of you over the years. So to try to get an answer to that is actually a little irrational, because even if you did get into his phone, Stephanie, you can't guarantee that he didn't delete things or he's not talking in person or through other means. So there's really no way to know. So how do we as a couple learn to trust each other? Let's make a roadmap of how to do that. And then we proceed to have a conversation around that. So that frames it in a more realistic way and gives them a way of moving forward, and also gives them the message that you're not going to be able to trust them right away. It's going to take some time. Usually the roadmap would be something like, well, no more infidelity. Another thing would be no conflict or relatively low conflict. Staying together, lots of messages about wanting to be with each other. Maybe the ability to check each other's phones, that is an option. Some couples have that. Some couples are like, yeah, sure, look at my phone, and they're able to log into each other's accounts, and that's one thing. But some people, they want their privacy. They want the ability to have a space where they can communicate with people and not worry about their spouse invading. That's also okay. It's just a matter of preferences. Another element to recovery and building trust is apologizing and telling the other person that you're really sorry, maybe even giving an explanation as to how that happened, how the infidelity happened. So that's what I would do. What I wouldn't do is just say, yes, Stephanie, let's just invade his space in a space that he doesn't want invaded, because you're creating a no-win situation. If you win the argument, he allows you to invade his life and he feels bad about that, and that causes distance and hurt. Or if he doesn't allow you to invade his phone, then you're left believing completely that he's still cheating. So there's a no-win situation here. We want to create a win-win for both of you, which might mean just living with uncertainty for a time. It's similar in the beginning of a relationship. Some people will come to me and they'll be like, yeah, I'm dating someone and I just don't really know if I can trust them. And I'll say, well, how long have you been dating? And they say, oh, a few months. And I'll say, well, you've only known this person for 3 months. How could you possibly trust them? You don't know them. You haven't known them long enough. It's normal that you don't trust them. It's okay. Typical long-term relationships are decades long, and trust actually builds slowly over that time. And I know that is terrible. It's a very anxious place to be in. Can I trust this person? Does this person really love me? Is this person cheating on me or not? These are questions that we all want the answer to, but there's just no way of knowing the answer to that question. Now, when we have the frequency of those questions popping up in us, it usually indicates attachment insecurity from our early childhood, or at least our past. And healing from that gives us the ability to handle the uncertainty of a relationship in the present. And I wonder if for Stephanie, she has that as well, that she has a lot of attachment injuries in the past that told her that unless she pursues and invades and controls and badgers, then she's never going to get her attachment needs met and people are always going to abandon her. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. Let's continue watching.
Because I just am curious.
And of course, this is just furthering the mother-son dynamic in which she has control over his phone. This is something that some parents will do to their kids. They will say, you're going to let me have access to your things so that I can make sure you're not up to no good. And it's just unfortunate that the relationship is... Now, maybe this is good. Maybe this will help her to feel more relaxed. Maybe he is like, well, I don't like this, but you know what? If it makes her happy, then I'm happy to do it. So maybe this is the beginning of trust being built up again. Let's watch.
Yeah, that's my cousin Kayla, though, from my dad's side. That's Aliyah, my sister.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
For the next 2 weeks or so, I could remove the password, honey, and just so you could be secure and comfortable. Okay?
Okay.
So that's the first step I'll do so you could start trusting me again.
This is something that some couples will do. It's actually a good sign, honestly. When I see couples recovering from infidelity and the person who did more of the cheating, which I think is Ryan, I'm not sure, just hands over or I guess anyone who does the cheating hands over their phone and just says, you have full access. I am an open book. I am not cheating. I want you to trust me. It can actually go a long way to helping people to trust. Now, can Ryan still cheat? Yes, it does. I mean, she's gone in 2 weeks. He could cheat for sure, but it does help. People will often be triggered by phones. If you've ever been cheated on, particularly if it was text-based, at least in part, there's a chance that in future relationships, whenever you see your spouse or your partner texting someone and you're not quite sure what's happening, it can trigger you. And having that access can really help to build trust. It's unfortunate that the future partners need to deal with that. You know, say you have a relationship and this person is being cheated on, and then they break up, and then this person has another relationship, and every time this new person is texting, this person is triggered by that. Now, it's not the new person's fault that this person is being triggered, right? This person is triggered because of someone in the past. It's not this person's fault. But sometimes this person could do a really wonderful thing by saying, hey, do you want to look in my phone and maybe that'll help you? That flexibility can really help people to build trust for sure. And I will say in our contemporary times that phones are often the first step of infidelity. So
Some days, Stephanie, she drives me really crazy, you know, like I would probably just want to give up on all this, you know, but I'm hoping that she's willing to work with me and right here, right now, let's make a new beginning, a new chapter fresh. Because I'm actually way too deep in it already, and I actually really want to get to America, and I want to see what America looks like, you know?
Okay. So the beginning of that, I thought, oh, okay, so he's indicating that he wants to be with her and maybe really try to see if they're compatible enough to get married. And then he ends it with, you know, I just really want to see America. I want to see what it looks like. I don't know what that means exactly. As I've been saying throughout this show, is you can have both. You can both be in love and really want to get married to someone and really want to spend the rest of your life with someone and really want to get a green card to another country and live in that other country. You can have both things. They aren't incompatible with each other. But the way he phrased that, it just sounded like maybe he's a little bit more interested in seeing what America is like rather than really evaluating if him and Stephanie are a good match for each other. I don't know that, but it just, I don't know. Just let's re-listen to that, and you tell me in the comments what you think.
Right here, right now, let's make a new beginning, a new chapter fresh. Because I'm actually way too deep in it already, and I actually really want to get to America, and I want to see what America looks like, you know?
Because I'm actually already too deep into it, and I really want to get to America. So it doesn't sound great. Now, maybe if we were here, we could ask him, what do you mean by that? Maybe he'd say, oh, well, I really, really love her, and I really, really do want to spend the rest of my life with her if we can make our conflict go away. And I just really love being around her. I'm just really happy, something that would indicate love and attachment, that sort of thing. But maybe he wouldn't say that. I don't know.
Well, thank you for showing me that. That makes me feel better.
Feel better now?
Yes, I do. I feel much better.
Oh, better.
Now, I will say that people get married for a variety of reasons. The way I just laid it out in the last comment was a way that I see love and a way that a lot of people around me see love. That love and marriage is about companionship and connecting and warmth and understanding each other and friendship and respect. And some people get married for other reasons, and that's okay. Marriage is what you want to make of it. And if two people agree on that, then maybe it's fine. And maybe for the two of them, they're thinking, well, yeah, we don't really connect, but we get a lot of other things out of it. And, that's okay. It's people's lives. They can do what they want.
To let me do that every time I've ever asked you before, you've told me no.
From this day on, I'm trying to make amends, make stuff better, making me feel more comfortable around me, earn my trust back.
Did you figure I'd ask to see it when I got here?
Okay, so there's some good things here. He's saying, I want to earn your trust back, and so that's my goal here, and so that helps. They're having that conversation. But then she has this question of, did you know I was going to ask? Which implies, did you scrub your phone of all the cheating that you've been doing prior to me asking for your phone? So we're right back where we started, which points to what I've been saying all along, which is there's no way to gain trust back this fast. Even looking at someone's phone, as I was saying, he could have scrubbed it. And so On one level, it helps to build trust, but on another level, you just don't really know. It takes time. It's common for after infidelity, and I think the two of them have engaged in infidelity many times collectively within recent past. And to recover from that, it's not uncommon to take 5, 10, 20 years to really recover from that. It's not uncommon for couples to come see me 20 years after an infidelity, and there's still a lot of pain around that, still a lot of feelings around that. That's normal. When your partner cheats on you and lies to you and deceives you and shows that they have affection for another person above you in that moment, that is an incredible threat and very, very hurtful. So the fact that she doesn't trust him right away is okay. That's normal. There's nothing she can do about it, though. But what she's resorting to now is accusation and hostility, I think. Let's watch this.
I thought like, oh, she's not worrying about the phone or anymore, but I was wrong.
Why would I forget about it when that's every time I...
That's your number one thought. Every time it's the phone, the phone, the phone.
So why would I not ask about the phone this time?
Well, that wasn't on my mind, honey. What was on my mind is you landing here in Belize safe.
Okay.
Right? That was on my mind.
Again, this is our first night together, so...
So it looks like they are still in the zone of conflict and contempt and anger. It's certainly not as bad as what we've seen, but this doesn't bode well. Again, there's nothing wrong with her wondering and her being insecure. There's nothing wrong with him being upset that he's constantly being accused of things that he hasn't done, presumably. But how do you talk about it with each other? How do you take care of your own feelings? How do you take responsibility? For example, for her, she could say something like, so I'm just going to tell you that I'm really thankful that you let me look at your phone, but I'm also going to tell you that I'm still kind of worried that maybe you are cheating on me and you scrubbed your phone of all incriminating evidence before I came. But that's unfair to just accuse you of that. And so I'm not accusing you. I'm just telling you that I'm still not really quite sure about you yet. But you could be a wonderful person. You could be totally faithful to me. But given what's happened in the past, I'm still worried. And I guess it's just going to take some time. And is there anything you can tell me right now that would reassure me a little bit? It probably won't solve the problem, but maybe there's little bit by little bit we can help me with this feeling of insecurity that I have. So she could say something like that, right? That's taking responsibility. It's asking someone to help. It's not accusatory. So there's definitely a way that you can have those feelings and communicate about them. You don't have to, a lot of people will say, okay, I either do this or I deny my feelings and stuff it. No, there are many other options.
I don't want to, I don't want to quarrel anymore, but...
No, we're not quarreling. We're just having a conversation, right?
Okay.
Yeah. It's all good, though. Still love you.
Ryan can be very convincing. He's trying to convince me that he's changed, but I'm not convinced yet.
I think that's okay and might even be rational. And what's the solution, though? Is the solution control and accusation and hostility, or is it something else?
I mean...
I will. We will get approved and everything will go through. So stick with me.
Okay.
I don't care how many obstacles you think is in the way and how many times they turn me down. You know I will get to the States. Just remember that.
So again, the way he's phrasing it is nothing is going to stand in my way. I'm going to get to America. He's not saying nothing is going to stand in the way of me being in a relationship with you. That's not how he's phrasing it. Now, who knows what that means? I do not want to accuse. I don't want to be one of those people, by the way, that just accuses people of wanting to get a green card. That's a pretty ugly look, and it's ridiculous and xenophobic and racist in some ways. But I'm just always wondering, do these people actually love each other? Because I think that at least Stephanie, I think, is looking for a companion, someone who really loves her, right? And so I guess I'm, as a viewer of the show, wondering about his feelings for her. And I guess hoping that he does have feelings for her. I think there are signs of that for sure. But there's just something about the way he phrases it. Now, as I always say, you can both want to come to the United States because you just want to live there for whatever reason, and also really want to be with the person that you are in a relationship with. You can get both things at the same time. You can want both things, that they don't cancel each other out.
If you and I decide that we could make things work, that would be the ring that I would want you to propose with. You're holding the ring now, okay? So it's in your hands.
Number one priority is try to get you to trust and love me like you first did before. I know you're still in love with me and you still love me, of course, yes. But I need to prove some stuff for you. I'm a changed man and I want better for my life and I want better for us, you know?
Okay, so that's definitely wording that is in line with recovery and indicative of someone that loves someone and cares about them and wants to be with them. So that's a good sign for the two of them. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.